The press conference was supposed to be uneventful, promotional, predictable. The room buzzed with journalists scribbling notes and adjusting cameras, waiting for Korea's most beloved actor to appear. Lee Min-ho entered with the ease of someone who's done this 1,000 times before. Impeccably dressed, relaxed posture, polite smile. He greeted the media, bowed slightly, and took his seat behind a nameplate that bore his iconic name. For the first 10 minutes, everything went according to plan. Questions about his new drama, comment about his character's emotional depth, light banter about his filming routine. The room laughed at his charming anecdotes, his subtle wit, his humble deflections. Then came the moment that changed everything. A reporter in the front row raised her hand and asked, seemingly casually, "You've been receiving a lot of fan attention lately, especially in connection with Kim Go-eun. How do you respond to these ongoing dating rumors?" The question hung in the air for a beat too long. The cameras shifted. Pen stopped moving. All eyes turned to Lee Min-ho, waiting for a reaction. But he didn't flinch. He didn't laugh. He didn't stammer. Instead, he leaned forward slightly, his hands clasped, and said calmly, "I respect Kim Go-eun very much. She's a talented actress, and we shared a wonderful working experience. Beyond that, I prefer to keep my personal life private." The tone was measured, warm, unbothered. He even smiled gently as he said it. And in that moment, it felt like he had neutralized the situation. But the internet thought otherwise. The clip circulated within minutes. That one sentence, "I respect her very much," was looped, reshared, dissected. Fans zoomed into his eyes, slowed down his blinking pattern, analyzed the micro-expressions in his cheekbones. Was he hiding something? Or was he confirming it in the only way he was allowed? But it wasn't just fans who reacted. The backlash started quietly. A few comments on forums, then blog posts, then YouTube breakdowns. Not angry at him, at least not directly, but at the feeling behind the words. "I respect her very much." That's all she gets? After everything? After the wrap party glances, the subtle matching outfits, the hidden getaways captured by eagle-eyed fans? That's the statement? Some took it personally. They wanted more. They expected a moment of public affirmation, not a retreat into polite vagueness. Within hours, hashtags began trending. Hashtag respect is not enough. Hashtag say her name Min-ho. Hashtag Kim Go-eun deserves more. Some fans felt he was distancing himself, protecting his image, deflecting at her expense. One fan tweet read, "Every time they question him about her, he shrinks the story. Meanwhile, she stays silent and graceful. It feels uneven." Others defended him fiercely. He's protecting their privacy. That's love. Not everything needs to be a headline. And so, the fandom split. Debates raged online. Live streams, reaction videos, comment threads spanning hundreds of posts. But amid the noise, one unexpected voice joined the chorus. Kim Go-eun stylist. On her personal Instagram story, she posted a photo of a script, closed and tied with a ribbon. The caption read, "Some stories are written quietly." She didn't tag anyone. She didn't say anything else. But fans knew what she meant. It was subtle, like everything else. Meanwhile, Lee Min-ho stayed silent. No follow-ups, no clarifications. But he did one thing. He liked the post. A simple fan edit. A black and white montage of him and Kim Go-eun on set. No romantic overtones. Just quiet glances and shared smiles. The caption? "Real doesn't need to shout." His like disappeared a few minutes later, but not before screenshots were taken and reposted across every platform. The narrative shifted again. Maybe his calm reply wasn't avoidance. Maybe it was protection. Maybe it was love spoken in code. Still, the press wouldn't let go. At a follow-up event a week later, another reporter circled back to the topic. "Do you regret not being more open in your last statement about Kim Go-eun?" they asked. There was a pause, a long one. Lee Min-ho looked down, then back up. This time, he answered with something different. "You know," he said slowly, "sometimes we learn that silence says more than words ever can, especially when something matters." It wasn't loud. It wasn't bold. But it was enough. That sentence, especially when something matters, became the new headline. Fans were divided, still. But now, the fury had softened. Anger gave way to reflection. Maybe we demand too much of our idols. Maybe they're entitled to the quiet version of love, one not filtered through fan expectations or media speculation. A well-known journalist later commented on her podcast. He didn't lash out. He didn't scold the public. He answered calmly. And yet, that calmness stirred more fire than any dramatic confession could have. It was true. His calm reply didn't extinguish the fire. It fueled it, not because it was empty, but because it felt full of meaning he wasn't ready to unpack publicly. And in the middle of it all, Kim Go made her first subtle move. She posted a photo. No caption, just a sunset. The same rooftop skyline fans had linked to their rumored date months ago. The comment section flooded instantly. We see you. So it's true. You don't have to say a word. She didn't respond, but she didn't delete it either. Meanwhile, fans noticed something else. Lee Min-ho's latest interview, taped weeks earlier, finally aired. In it, he was asked, "What's something or someone that brings you peace when the world feels heavy?" He smiled, softly, and replied, "There's a person who reminds me who I am. She's calm when I'm not, stronger than she looks." He didn't say a name. He didn't have to. The fury began to quiet, replaced by something gentler. Curiosity, hope, understanding. Because slowly it became clear, Lee Min-ho wasn't running from the questions. He was answering them in his own way, not with headlines, but with hints, not with noise, but with presence. And if there was fury in the beginning, it's because people cared. They wanted something confirmed, something labeled, something defined. But what they got was something real, messy, quiet, evolving. So yes, the media questioned him. And yes, he answered with calm. But that calm, it wasn't emptiness. It was intention. It was care. It was protection for something still unfolding. And in time, even the fury learned to respect that. Because in a world desperate for instant clarity, sometimes the most powerful thing a person can do is answer slowly, softly, and only when they're ready.